All right, I was going to show these cool He-Man GIFs or GIFs, but they're flashing. And I thought, like, does that like really cause epilepsy, or does some people have seizures? So I guess I can't show those. I don't know how that works. Click the links for Odysee, BitChute, per channel on Coffee. The Lady Boys Cocaine do not pay for themselves. So He-Man of the Iron Cross turns into They-Man of Soy. From Deus Vault to By the Power of PMS. Everything Christian or European, they must subvert and corrode. Even a silly cartoon that is just a toy-selling platform. Yes, I get that, but some are better than others. They're going to find a way to remove anything good and pure and make a mockery of life as they lead their audience down the left-hand path. And comic or cartoons were good for a certain while, and then you feel like you can feel them when they shift I don't know, ownership, or they run out of steam, and they kind of get the Golden Globus treatment of films, which in their defense, they actually did make some good movies. And if you're a kid in the 80s, or if you just like watching those retro films, Golden Globus, even Superman Part 4 wasn't horrible. I think they did that. But those ninja movies were a lot of fun. Anyway, symbolism is important. The cross and even the mention of Christ has much the same effect on them as it does on a vampire. And a lot of this stuff is mixed up. Oh, I did get a Joseph Campbell's book on mythology. It's floating around. And when I'm done with it, I'll mail it off to somebody. A lot of this stuff is mixed up. The older European pagan tribal ancestor worship or reverence, ethno-nationalism, and the newer religion from the Middle East, Christianity. And the thing is, it's like we know of it 2,000 years later. I was wondering what it would be like to be in Europe when Christianity was first starting to get introduced there. I can't imagine that it would be well received. A religion from the blood-soaked deserts that advocates peace, mostly except for the occasionally flaming sword and whipping the money changers out of the temple. In my mind, I combine the two. Christ on a fire-breathing horse with a battle axe and shield, because you can't have peace until you clean away the infidels. A peace through superior firepower sort of religion. Anyway, so blonde He-Man with an iron cross and sword, who is fighting anthropomorphic decay and death, is suddenly problematic for peak Weimar plastic corporate mainstream media America. Here's a weird thing. I see their reaction to the cross in any form. They recoil in horror from it. I start to wonder, does this symbol actually have a power within it? It makes me want to wear a cross as a way of sniffing out the vampires. Check to see who flinches at the sight of it. Use the cross to draw fire to hunt out the witches. The way they loathe these symbols of ethno-nationalism and Christianity speaks very well of both of these beliefs. If the plastic soy people are against it, then it is probably good. And things that they uphold are usually filth and evil. No, porn is not liberation. It is a great evil against the spirit of the sacred mother. Purveyors of filth must be trebucheted into the sun. The story of the Islamic colonization of Europe is fascinating, and there's a channel on YouTube called Flashpoint History, which does videos that cover that history, that period very well. He does a great job. He is as fair and impartial and unbiased as you could possibly be, and both Christians and Muslims will comment in his channel about what a good job he does, and the Muslims will come in to help him with his pronunciation, because some of those words are just about impossible unless you're a native speaker. So he's on YouTube. He's amazing. And so is the Fourth Age, if you're into like the heavier mythology behind comics. So the symbolism of the burning light of the cross to resist the forces of darkness and death. It was an interesting analogy between the left hand versus the right hand path, affirming life, reaching for the stars to boldly go. And God, what a poop show that has turned out to be. I almost said Ray Bradbury, but I don't think it's Ray Bradbury. It's the other guy. Death and casting the seed of life into a barren wasteland. And now I can't think of the guy's name because I'm under pressure. To voluntarily castrate your child, to turn him into a catamite for the Epsteins of the world, to celebrate this mental illness. That is how powerful the propaganda of the media is. If you control the flow of information, you are a long way to enslaving the people. The best part is they don't know they're slaves, and they will pay you for the privilege. either with money or with time. It's why the kill your TV movement isn't around today. And a good book that deals with that is, I think it's called Zen and the Art of the Un-TV. It's on my shelf floating around somewhere. Because the left have got such total control over TV and streaming sources like Netflix, mainstream social media, and magazines and news, that to say cut the cord now sounds like a conspiracy theory, right-wing threat. Kill your TV. Watch out, buddy. What dog whistle is this? What are you really saying? Cut the cord sounds Alex Jonesy because the puppet masters are not on the right wing. The right wing is the resistance. We're not allowed on Twitter. We're in Discord, Telegram, Gab, and those hidden chat rooms under Salty. The right isn't exactly punk rock, but punk rock isn't punk rock. But it is true that the left has completely shifted to becoming the corporate mainstream that they claim to hate. Hey, left wing, remember in the 90s, the military-industrial complex? Now you've got your knee pads out and you're in front of them, just going as hard as you can. The alt-dexterous, I have to substitute certain words for YouTube, today has more in common with the beatniks of the 50s and the hippies of the 60s and 70s. A hardcore nationalist can sit down and peacefully smoke a joint with a sincere hippie and talk philosophy, and neither one has anything in common with the globalist-controlled SJW. The other issue of the muscular... Oh, let me get on that. The muscular, breastless female, both fair and dark, coming to the forefront is a mockery of any science and logic. And you thought I was going to say religion? It's not even necessary to go down that. Feminizing men and masculinizing women goes against 10 million years of evolution. Humans are not hyenas, and maybe it is time to return to monk. Maybe the ones who went back to the trees were the smart ones after all. Fertile women are valuable. In most respects, they're more valuable than the men of the tribe. Only a woman can give birth and breastfeed a child. So naturally, you don't send a fertile woman into battle. And, really, an old woman's not much use in battle because they're old. Old people in general, they're not going to be swinging around battle axes. Or you don't put her at risk if it can be avoided. Those eggs are precious. That's what young men are for. They are expendable. And of course they are on average stronger and faster than women. But logic and verisimilitude don't matter. So they use three women as the protagonists, one Euro, one Afro, which is bending the story past the breaking point. It's all so tiresome. Let me ask you a bigger picture question. Does this story feel authentic? No. And this is the problem with the Stephen King movie, The Dark Tower. Not the books, the movie, if you saw that flaming pile of garbage film. Because they're not of the same tribe. What are they fighting for? The rights of people kind? If you are of each other's tribes, then why don't you look the same? Because you haven't been sufficiently mixed for generations to create a new tribe. So right now, you're at year 0. This is the point you're going to mix and cut off your roots and history. That's why the story feels off, because this is a tragedy. How do these diverse females advance the story? They don't. They make the story worse. They are nothing more than globalist propaganda. They took everything that made for a fun story, and yes, I know it's not Shakespeare, and they removed it. The symbolism and characters have been nerfed, or really dildoed is probably a more accurate phrase. The story is plastic. It means nothing, and it is for no one. You may as well have a story of trans orcs who are immigrating from Mordor into the Shire, and simultaneously there's a climate change subplot and a transgender interspecies love story. If you saw The Hobbit, don't. Up to you. It's, what is it, 9 hours of an investment? It's like you could read the book in 9 hours or less. It means nothing. It is a story by committee, and the committee all has blue hair, plenty of cats, masturbates furiously to things that would probably turn your stomach. I imagine them sitting around their well, I guess they're not sitting around a table, they're on Zoom now. They're taking a puff of weed and saying, oh man, we're going to own the man baby incels. No, you're not. You're not going to own them because they're not going to watch it. Why would they? Nobody's going to watch it. They're not going to let their kids watch it. And kids don't want to watch it. It's going to get low ratings and zero toy sales. A few college lesbian feminists will tweet about it, but that's about it. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, guys, and I will see you. Well, I'll see you all in an hour because I have something else coming up.